Good morning, friends. This is Naveen Mishra. Welcome to my channel Edu Hub. Today onward, I'm going to start one Indian polity series in which I'll cover the entire Lakshmikant book chapter wise, which is really useful for all the competitive exams, including UPSC, BPSC, and other state PCS. So I hope you like this video because I have made this video in a simple way, in a pointer format. I have written all the gist of Indian polity so that it is easy to remember, easy to learn. The first chapter is the historical background. Historical background. So Britishers came to India in 1600 as a trader. So that time it was East India Company, a private company, has taken the permission from Queen Elizabeth to trade. So slowly and slowly they started taking interest into the administration of India, and 1765 they got the Diwani right over Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. What is Diwani right? So they can impose tax, they can take part in the civil justice. So they have started digging inside the Indian tradition and culture. So after a famous war of 1857, revolt of 1857, the East India Company abolished their operations and the British Crown has taken the complete authority on the Indian administration. So in between this till independence, from 1600 to till independence 1947, many acts, regulations was passed by British government. So let's see what all those acts. The first and most important was the Regulating Act of 1773. Why it was passed? So Regulating Act because the East India Company were making laws, but the officers of East India Company were making profit. So to stop the corruption in the company, this act was passed. The feature of this act is the first governor of Bengal was made Governor General of Bengal, and it was given executive council of 4 members to assist the Governor General of Bengal. So who was the first Governor General? So first Governor General was Lord Warren Hastings. So in 1773, the act made the governor of Bombay and Madras subordinate to Governor General of Bengal. The act provided for the establishment of the Supreme Court at Calcutta in the year 1774. They prohibit the servant to take any gift, any bribe, or to trade their private trading was also tried to ban. After that, one act passed which was called the Act of Settlement 1781. It was passed by the British Parliament to rectify the loopholes or the defect of Act of 1773. After that, one important act, Pitt's India Act, was passed in 1784. So it is very important act. It distinguished the commercial and political function of the company. Now there was 2 posts created. One was Court of Directors and other was Board of Control. So Court of Directors were given the responsibility to manage the commercial affair, whereas the Board of Control were given to manage the political affairs. Thus the Pitt's India Act what started the dual government, dual means 2 governments. One is for political affairs, one is for commercial affairs. And after that, the first time it was called, the Indian territories was called the British possession in India. After that, one important act called Charter Act of 1833 was passed, in which the feature of this act was the Governor General of Bengal was made the Governor General of India. So you can see how the centralization was happening. In the Regulating Act, the governor of Bombay and Madras were made subordinate to the Governor General of Bengal. Now the Governor General of Bengal made the Governor General of India. So now it was completely centralized. So who was the first Governor General? So first Governor General of India was Lord William Bentinck. The laws that were made prior to 1833 Charter Act was called regulations, but after 1833 Charter it was called acts. So in this act it was tried to introduce the open competition for civil servants, but it was divided for Indians. Anyhow, it never came to the picture. So in Charter Act of 1853, the Charter Act of 1853 came to the picture, and this was introduced the open competition for Indians as well. The Legislative Council functioned as a mini parliament. In this act only it was created a Legislative Council. Earlier it was Executive Council, and four executive members were given to assist the Governor General. Now one Legislative Council was also made, which is called mini parliament. So for the recruitment of Indians also in the civil services, Macaulay Committee was set up in 1854. So from India, Satyendranath Tagore was the first Indian to join the civil service. From India, he has passed the ICS, that time it was called ICS exam, and he has passed the exam, Satyendranath Tagore. Then what happened in 1857, there was a great revolt happened that was called the Sepoy Mutiny. After that, the East India Company was abolished and the British Crown has taken complete control over Indian administration. So Government of India Act of 1858 passed and it was abolished the East India Company. And British Crown has assumed the sovereignty over the Indian over the India. Now the Governor General was renamed and it was called Viceroy of India. No longer now Governor General exists. Now only the Viceroy of India post exists. The last Governor General of India was Canning, and the first Viceroy of India was Lord Canning himself. So the government abolished, in this act, government abolished the Board of Control and Court of Directors. So Board of Control and Court of Directors, which was made in Pitt's India Act, dual government has been abolished here in the Act of 1858, and a new position of Secretary of State was created. A new position, Secretary of State, was created. Who was the Secretary of State? The Secretary of State was a member of British Cabinet and it was responsible to the British Parliament. So 1858 Act has abolished East India Company. Then it created a post called Viceroy and Secretary of State. The Governor General was renamed as a Viceroy and a new post created was Secretary of State, who is a member of British Cabinet and responsible to the British Parliament. So now again in 1861 Indian Council Act was passed. So Indian Council Act was passed. What was the reason? So after this 1857 revolt, British government thought that to put some Indians in the administration, some Indians in the legislative work. So they have taken some non-official member, nominated some Indian in the Legislative Council. In the year 1862, Lord Canning, the first Viceroy of India, nominated Raja of Banaras, Maharaja of Patiala and Sir Dinkar Rao to the Legislative Council. The Act restored the power of Bombay and Bengal Presidency. Now see what happened. In 1773 till Charter Act of 1833, it was centralization was happening. The power was moving to center. Now the Bombay and Bengal got their powers. They got some autonomy in itself, so that they can legislate on their own subjects. So now decentralization started from here onward. The Legislative Council for Northwest Frontier, जिसको खैबर पख्तूनख्वा we used to call it, was created in 1868-6. Then Punjab Legislative Council was created in 1897. The act gave recognition to the portfolio system. Very important. What is portfolio system? Portfolio system is a specific department wise the ministry, like today we have many ministries. Likewise, the Lord Canning has divided their work into different ministries. That was called portfolio. So Lord Canning introduced the portfolio system in 1859, and that is why it was called as the father of portfolio system. And this act only, Council Act of 1862, has given the Viceroy authority to make the ordinance. You can see here ordinance making power. What is ordinance? Ordinance can be made by, today's also ordinance can be made by president or governors when both the houses or one house is also not in operation. That time, during the time, they can promulgate ordinance. Now you can come to see the Indian Council Act of 1892. In this, the discussion of budget started. The Legislative Council member can discuss the budget and address the question to the executive. The act also provides for the nomination of some non-official members to the Legislative Council by the Viceroy. So, what all these council acts? The council acts tried to expand the council, Legislative Council, and they tried to put some Indians into the council, but the official majority was of Britishers only. Indians were always in minority. Then a very famous Indian Council Act of 1909 came, which was also called as Morley-Minto Reform. Morley-Minto Reform. Morley-Minto, so first one is Morley. Morley was the Secretary of the State. Morley was Secretary of State, which was responsible to the British Parliament, and Minto was the Viceroy. This act increased the size of Legislative Council by including elected non-official member. Now see, earlier it was nominated member, but little bit election was started, but since this act, an element of election was introduced through this act. But official majority was always maintained. What is official majority? The majority of Britishers, Englishmen was always maintained till the time. The member of Legislative Council were allowed to ask supplementary question. They are now allowed to ask supplementary questions. Now, in this 1892, the members were allowed to move resolution on budget. So they can move on resolution on other subject also, except armed forces, foreign affairs, or Indian states. The act provided the association of Indians with the Executive Council of the Viceroy and the Governor. So Executive Council, now see, till time it was Legislative Council, but 1909 has given permission to bring Indians into the Executive Council. So the first times the Viceroy Executive Council was joined by an Indian, the name Satyendra Prasad Sinha. So remember, in Council Act of 1909, the Executive Council Indian started entering into the executive council, and the first Indian who was entered into the executive council was Satyendra Prasad Sinha. So 1909 Act introduced a system of communal representation. One of the most important feature of this 1909 Council Act means communal representation means a separate electorate for Muslims. So Muslim members were elected by Muslim voters only. That was called separate electorate. The first time communalism was legalized in India, and the father of communal electorate title was given to Minto. Minto was called the father of communal electorate in India. They did not aim to establish a parliamentary system of government, and final decision of all the actions was in the hand of executive, governor general or viceroy. So now another important act, Government of India Act of 1919 came, which was called as a Montagu-Chelmsford reform. Very, very important. Then the second name, Chelmsford, was viceroy. Viceroy was little, you can just say it like little smaller post than the Secretary of State, since Secretary of State was directly responsible to British Parliament. So Montagu was the Secretary of State and Morley was the viceroy. So it's a very, very important feature of this act, that is they have started diarchy or dual government at provinces and not at center. Diarchy they have started. The act demarcated the central and provincial subjects. Diarchy means there are two subjects. Now one is called transfer subject and other is called reserve subject. Transfer subject are those subjects which are administered by the governor with the help of legislative council. So remember, transfer subject are those subjects which are dealt with or managed or administered by the governor with the help of legislative council, whereas the reserve subject was the subject which was managed by governor with the executive council. So transfer subject with legislative council and reserve subject with executive council. Now in this time, first time the provincial budget was separated from the central budget. Earlier it was centralized, so all the budget were relocated from the center, but this act of 1919 has separated the provincial budget and central budget. This act given the bicameralism. Bicameralism means two houses, upper house and lower house at center. So remember, two houses, upper house and lower house. Today we have Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Both were come to picture in Government of India Act of 1919. The concept of election was introduced. Concept of election, though we have studied it in the 1909, but the mainly concept of election was introduced in 1919. It extended one of the important thing. In 1909, what was happened? The separate electorate for Muslims were given. Now it extended the communal representation for Sikh, Indian Christian, European and Anglo-Indians. So it has extended, and one of the important feature of this is it provided the establishment of Public Service Commission. Public Service Commission. Now to inquire into the matter, Simon Commission was set up. The inquiry into the working of the Government of India Act of 1919. A Simon Commission was member. The commission having 7 members, all members were from Britishers, so it was boycotted by the all parties in India, but still it has submitted its report in 1930, During this time only Lala Lajpat Rai was hit by the police and he died. So Bhagat Singh and other patriots has taken the revenge by killing one British officer. So this commission also recommended for the continuation of. So what the recommendation of Simon Commission report? This commission has given the recommendation for the continuation of the communal electorate. Simon Commission also recommended for the abolition of diarchy. Diarchy means the reserved subject and transfer subject, two subjects were there, so it tried to just abolish it. And the British government after that covered three round table conference, in which from 1930 to 32, in which only second round table conference was attended by Indian National Congress by Mahatma Gandhi. The Simon Commission recommendation was incorporated in Government of India Act of 1935. Now, what was Communal Award of 1932? Communal Award, which was announced by the British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald in 1932. Since the Roundtable Conference, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he has tried a separate electorate for depressed class also. So Mahatma Gandhi was not happy with this because they thought that it will disintegrate the Hindu society. So he set on the hunger strike, which we will come to learn in Pune Pact. So Ramsay MacDonald agreed with the B.R. Ambedkar and extending separate electorate for the scheduled caste. But since Mahatma Gandhi was not happy and he opposes, and he set for a hunger strike in Erwada Jail, Pune, which was called the Pune Pact. And in that pact, it was decided not to go for a separate electorate, but seat reserved for the depressed class in the general election. So B.R. Ambedkar also agreed in this, and there was a reservation started for the general election. Now, Government of India Act of 1935. So friends, now Government of India Act of 1935. So the most important feature of this Government of India Act of 1935 was federation. What is federation? Federation was a clear-cut division of power between center and state, and if local government is also there. So that time Government of India Act of 1935 divided the subjects into three lists. Federal list, on which central government or federal government has complete authority to make the rules and regulations and laws. On provincial list, only the provincial government, the state government has the power authority to make the laws. And the concurrent list, in which the federal government as well as the provincial government both has the right to make the laws. So this was very important feature of Government of India Act of 1935. And then it was told that the residuary power means if something fall out of this preview of the list, then the final authority lies with the Viceroy. Viceroy will make the law on that particular subject. So Government of India Act, most important, just see, very important. Abolish the diarchy at provinces. Diarchy means the dual government, you remember, one is transfer subject, one is reserve subject. That was abolished by the Government of India Act of 1935. Then it was provided that diarchy should be at center, not in the provinces, but it also never came to the picture. So it was also never adopted. So Government of India Act introduces bicameralism. Just see, bicameralism means two houses, upper houses and lower houses at provinces. In the 1919 Act, it was established at center, but in 1935 act it was established at provinces. So out of 11, 6 provinces were adopted this. So today also if you'll see, Bihar, UP, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, and before that Jammu and Kashmir was also having bicameralism. So at that time 6 out of 11 having bicameral state legislature, means upper house, state legislative assembly and legislative council. The rest of provinces having unicameral, means only one house, state legislative assembly. This act also extended the electorate for depressed class, women and labor. Remember it. Since 1909 Council Act has extended to Muslims only, but 1919 for Christian, Europeans, Anglo-Indians and all those, and 1935 extended the separate electorate for women, labor and depressed class. Very, very important. This act also provide franchisee means right to vote, voting right on the basis of tax, property and education. So only 10% population got the voting right through Government of India Act of 1935. So Government of India Act of 1935 provided the Reserve Bank of India. So RBI Act 1935, which was recommended by Hilton Young Commission in 1926 and finally set up in 1935 at Calcutta, but it was moved from Calcutta to Bombay in 1937. This Government of India Act also provide a provision for Provincial and Joint Public Service Commission. So today also we have Joint Public Service Commission for 2 states and Provincial Commission for 1 state. So this Government of India Act of 1935 provided the Provincial and Joint Public Service Commission. Government of India Act also provide for the Federal Court. Now we have Supreme Court, similarly to as Federal Court, which was set up in New Delhi in 1937. Present day Supreme Court was come into picture in January 28, 1950, which is in Delhi. So Indian Independence Act of 1947, now we will focus on this one. So February 20, 1947, Prime Minister Clement Attlee, Sir Clement Attlee was the British Prime Minister during the independence of India, and he told like after 30 June 1948 British government will not rule further and it will declare India as a sovereign state. But Muslim League was started demanding for the separate state. So partition happened and the constitution is not applicable to unwilling part of the nation. This was announced. So who was not willing to join India, they can join either Pakistan or India, or they can remain independent. Then the June 3rd Mountbatten Plan come into picture, which is very famous plan. That plan put forth the partition plan, which is very famous. June 3 Mountbatten Plan, which was nothing but the partition of India, which was accepted by both Muslim League as well as Congress. So Indian Independent Act of 1947 ended the British rule and declared India as an independent sovereign state from 15th August 1947. This act provided for the partition of the country into 2, India and Pakistan, and the Viceroy was abolished. The office of Viceroy was abolished. Okay, the office of Viceroy was abolished, and the General of Governor General for each dominion, India and Pakistan, appointed by the King. Now the act also empowered the Constituent Assembly to frame and adopt any constitution. So 1946 the Constituent Assembly was established. The Central Legislature of India, composed of the Legislative Assembly and the Council of States, ceased to exist from 14th of August 1947. Now, the Indian Independence Act granted freedom to princely state or given the freedom to join India or Pakistan or remain independent. All the civil servants were allowed to entitle all the benefits. Lord Mountbatten became the Governor General of independent India, and Jawaharlal Nehru was become the first Prime Minister of India, which was sworn by Mountbatten. Muhammad Ali Jinnah became the first Governor General of Pakistan.